Have you ever had a moment like this? In the middle of the night, you stumble upon a video about discipline and efficiency, and suddenly your fighting spirit ignites. You swear you'll change starting tomorrow. But the next morning, just 3 minutes after getting up early, you already feel like life is meaningless. It's not that you don't want to improve. You're simply trapped in an old version of yourself. It's not that you lack discipline. It's that your identity is holding you back. Many people believe that building a habit is all about perseverance. But have you ever considered, what exactly are you persevering with every day? You might be persevering at doing a job you don't even like, persevering at meeting others' expectations, persevering at living as the version of you that exists in other people's eyes, while the real you has long since gotten lost. That's why every time you try to change, you feel a deep inner struggle. One part of you reaching toward the person you want to become, another part clinging to the identity that has defined you until now. You think you're battling laziness and procrastination, but in truth, you're fighting a battle over your own self-identity. Let me give you a real example. Some people say they just can't lose weight no matter what they do. But deep down, the first thought in their mind is, I've been overweight since I was a kid. This isn't just an objective statement. It's part of their self-identity. No matter how much they diet, exercise, or cut sugar, as long as that core identity of I'm a fat person remains unshaken, they'll instinctively revert to their familiar self the moment they let their guard down. So what you really need is not a stricter schedule or harder effort. What you need is to rewrite your definition of who you are. In this session, we're not going to talk about discipline, checklists, or Pomodoro timers. We're going to get to the root, starting with who you are. The 3 layers of habits, from results to identity. Most people think the process of change works like this. First, take action. Stick with it long enough and it will form a habit. Build enough habits and you'll become a new person. Sounds reasonable, right? But in reality, most people get stuck at the very first step. Why? Because the real order is the opposite. Let's take a look at a classic model from Atomic Habits. Habits consist of 3 layers. 1. Outcome layer. I want to lose weight. I want to wake up early. I want to learn English. 2. Process layer. I start working out. I set alarms. I memorize vocabulary every day. 3. Identity layer. I am a healthy, disciplined person. I am a punctual person. I am a lifelong learner. Most people stay stuck at the outcome layer, thinking only about what they want to achieve. A few manage to move to the process layer and start taking action. But only a tiny number realize, I'm not doing this to become a certain type of person. I'm doing this because I already am that kind of person. For example, I want to start running to lose weight, outcome-oriented. I run 3 kilometers every day, process-oriented. I am someone who takes care of my body, identity-oriented. See the difference? The first 2 are about doing things. Only the last one is about being someone. What truly sustains long-term change is not how many days you check off your habit tracker, but the belief ingrained in your mind. This is just who I am. Real change never starts with behavior. It starts with how you define yourself. It's not, I want to change. It's, I am already a person who is changing. Behavior is the echo of identity. Every habit you stick to is a vote for the person you believe you are. Every habit you abandon is also a vote, reinforcing the belief that, I'm still the same as before. Where does identity come from? How are we shaped? You might wonder, who exactly decided who I am today? Who told you that you're lazy, undisciplined, unreliable? The answer is harsh. Most of the time, you didn't choose your identity. Your identity chose you. We grow up living under other people's definitions. Parents said, you're such a dawdler. Teachers said, you're smart, but you don't apply yourself. Society said, you didn't go to a top school. You're not competitive. Peers said, you're too sensitive. You can't handle pressure. You heard it enough times that eventually, you believed it. A single failure, a single criticism, a single label slowly turned into your default self-perception. In psychology, there's a concept called internalized identity. It means that evaluations and labels from others, especially during childhood and adolescence, are quietly absorbed into how we see ourselves. You don't even realize it, But every day you're living inside someone else's script, you're not procrastinating because you're lazy. You procrastinate because you've already accepted the belief, I'm just the kind of person who procrastinates. You don't lack motivation, you've just internalized, I'm not someone who can stick with things. This isn't laziness, it's an identity trap. Once your sense of identity stabilizes, your brain activates a mechanism. I must make reality match my identity. Even if you know that change would bring benefits, you'll unconsciously sabotage yourself, because change would contradict your deeply held self-concept. That's why relying on willpower alone is the path with the highest failure rate. You can't force yourself to become a winner if deep down you're still running on a loser script. You have to rewrite the script, not just push harder through the story. So how do we rewrite the script and rebuild our identity? Let's break down exactly how identity is formed and how we can reverse it. Imagine your life as a movie, and your identity is the script in your hands. The problem is, most people were handed a script the moment they were born. The family wrote your character's entrance. Society assigned you a role. The education system provided the dialogue and plot lines. You think you're choosing your life, but most of the time you're just acting out the script you were given. You act it out for so long that you begin to believe the script is you. Psychologist Erik Erikson proposed the theory of psychosocial development, suggesting that throughout life, especially during adolescence and early adulthood, we are constantly torn between identity exploration and role confusion. And frighteningly, many people give up on exploring their true identity before they even start. We live so long under the weight of shoulds. I should be stable. I should be obedient. I should be sensible. I should work hard. But we rarely ask ourselves a much more important question. Who am I really? Identity is built in 3 steps. 1. The environment assigns you a label. Point 2. You internalize and believe the label. Point 3. You reinforce the label through repeated behaviors. For example, as a child, you fail a test. Your parents say, "You're so careless." You believe it. Later, you avoid challenging tasks. Every time you fail, you tell yourself, "It's because I'm careless." The more you avoid, the more you fail. The more you fail, the more you believe you are careless. This is called a self-verification loop. You keep using your behavior to prove the belief you hold about yourself. But here's the truth. You are not the sum of your past actions. You are the product of the identity you choose to believe. You don't fail because you're lazy. You fail because you've accepted the belief, I am someone who fails. And at every crucial moment, you subconsciously act it out. But only a tiny number realize, I'm not doing this to become a certain type of person. I'm doing this because I already am that kind of person. And this process must start from a single place. As we move into section 5. I am the kind of person who makes changes, the first step of identity reshaping. We often say that change begins with action, but real change actually begins with a single sentence. That sentence is not a plan, not a goal, not a schedule. It's something simple yet profoundly powerful that you say to yourself, I am the kind of person who makes changes. This sentence may sound trivial, but once you say it seriously, you'll realize it's not describing your current state. It's declaring a new identity. Let's do a small exercise. Think back to a good habit you've successfully built. Whether it's exercising daily, reading, writing, waking up early, saving money, or even drinking less bubble tea. You were able to stick with it not because it was easy or particularly enjoyable, but because it aligned with your belief about the kind of person I am. For example, you kept reading because you saw yourself as someone thoughtful. You kept working out because you believed you were someone who valued health. You maintained self-discipline at work because you wanted to be someone accomplished. And the reason you struggle to stick with certain things isn't because you're incapable, it's because you don't believe that's the kind of person you are. At its core, habits aren't about what you do, they're about who you believe you are. This is the fundamental idea behind identity-based habits. Every action is a vote for the type of person you want to become. It's not that you must persist long enough to become that person. Rather, it's that by believing you already are that person, persistence becomes natural. So the first step is to proactively say this sentence. I am the kind of person who makes changes. Even if you're not there yet. Even if you haven't started. Set your identity first and let your behavior catch up, not the other way around. This isn't about self-deception. It's about anchoring your mind and constructing a new cognitive framework. Your brain is clever. It automatically searches for evidence to support what you believe. If you believe you can change, it will find ways to help you. If you believe you're hopeless, it will find ways to prove that too. Now, let's move into section 6. How to cast votes to build a new identity system. Not by forcing persistence, not by mechanical motivation, but through a systematic construction. How to build your identity with behavioral votes. You now understand that identity is the starting point for change. But identity doesn't come from thin air, it's built vote by vote through small behaviors. For instance, someone says, I am a writer, not because they published a book, but because they write every day. In Atomic Habits, there's a powerful idea. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Go for a run, 1 vote for, I am a healthy person. Wake up early, 1 vote for, I am a disciplined person. Study, 1 vote for, I am a growth-oriented person. It's not about casting 100 votes before you earn the identity. Every single vote already strengthens your belief. This is who I am. You don't need to make a massive, life-altering change all at once. You just need to start, even if it's tiny. Read 1 page a day. Exercise for just 5 minutes. Write a single paragraph. If you take action, you cast a vote. If you cast a vote, your brain gives you feedback. If you get feedback, your identity slowly gets reinforced. That's the positive feedback loop of behavior-driven identity reinforcement. But if you do nothing, or if you start and quit repeatedly, your brain also records that you're still the kind of person who says one thing and does another. That's why those seemingly insignificant small actions matter so much. They're the ballots for your new identity. Now you should clearly see, you don't change yourself by setting goals. You change yourself by designing a system that allows constant voting. And that leads to the focus of our next section. Section 7. System Design. The secret to automating behavior. Have you ever noticed how unreliable human willpower is? You promise yourself you'll wake up early, but stay up scrolling until 2 a.m. and then sleep through your alarm. It's not that you don't want to change. It's that you're fighting an entire old system. Here's an example. Suppose someone wants to wake up early. If they bring their phone into the bedroom, leave YouTube or TikTok open, and have nothing exciting to look forward to in the morning, do you think they'll succeed? It's not that they lack discipline. It's that the entire environment and system are set up for failure. The sustainability of behavior is never about willpower, it's about system design. This is one of the core principles in Atomic Habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Meaning, setting a goal to wake up early is useless unless you build a system that makes waking up early easy. So what exactly is a system? A system equals environment plus triggers plus pathway plus reward mechanism. Let's break it down. 1. Environment design. Leave your phone in another room. Prepare your morning tasks in advance. Gym clothes, coffee, water bottle. Reduce high stimulus input at night. 2. Clear triggers. Alarm rings equals get up immediately. No thinking. Use if-then formulas to create habit chains. E.G. If I brush my teeth, then I do 10 push-ups. 3. Simplify the pathway. Don't start by running 10 km. Start by just putting on your shoes and stepping outside. For immediate rewards after waking up, listen to your favorite podcast. Brew a cup of good coffee. Give your brain something to look forward to. The goal of the system is not to make you work harder, but to make you complete behaviors effortlessly. When something feels unnatural not to do, it's no longer a habit, it's part of your identity. That's the ultimate goal. Not just doing the thing, but becoming the kind of person who does it naturally. Now let's move on to section 8, where we'll help you build your own personalized identity building system. From cognition, behavior, environment to emotion, turning habits into a subconscious expression of who you are. By now, you already understand, habits are not just actions. They are manifestations of identity. Change doesn't start with setting goals. It starts with the statement, I am this kind of person. Behavior is a vote, the system is the soil, and identity is the result. So now the big question is, how do you truly build a personal identity building system? Let's go through a 4-step framework. Step 1. Define who you want to become. Don't ask, what do I want to achieve? Ask, if I became a completely different person, who would I want to be? For example, I am a creative person. I am someone full of passion for life. I am someone who never easily gives up on myself. Keep it simple, powerful, and emotionally connected. Don't write, I want to lose 10 pounds. Write, I am someone who cherishes my body. Step 2. Design 1 to 2 daily voting actions for your new identity. If you want to become a creator, take 1 photo a day, write 1 sentence, or post 1 reflection. If you want to become a disciplined person, wake up at a fixed time every day and dedicate a time slot for study. If you want to become a free person, do 1 thing every day that's not necessary but makes you feel alive. Don't chase quantity. Focus on certainty and executability. This becomes your microhabit module for identity building. Step 3. Design a system so it happens automatically. You can do it like this. Use environmental limits to control what shows up in your life, like not putting your phone beside your bed at night. Use schedule triggers to make actions automatic, like writing 3 sentences before breakfast every day. Chain habits naturally together, like washing your face leading immediately to 3 minutes of meditation. This isn't a rigid, self-disciplined lifestyle template. It's a system that silently transforms you into a new person. Step 4. Record and reward. Simply record what you completed each day, even just a check mark. Your brain will tell you, I cast another vote for my new identity, and occasionally reward yourself. Strengthen this positive loop. You don't need to wait until full success to affirm yourself. After every small step, tell yourself, see, I really am becoming that person. If you follow this system-building process, you'll find that you no longer struggle with questions like whether to act, whether you can stick to it, or whether it's worth the effort. You will naturally and continuously become the person you want to be. It's not goals that change you. It's the system that shapes you. So finally, let's review today's main thread. What you thought you lacked was self-discipline, but what you really lacked was a sense of identity. What you thought change depended on was goals, but it actually depends on systems. Real transformation isn't about doing things better. It's about becoming a different person. We are not struggling to reach a goal. We are designing a system that naturally nurtures a whole new version of ourselves. This is not a victory of willpower. It's the result of cognition, environment, behavior, and emotion working together. You are no longer the person being pushed around by life. You are the one writing the script of your own life. If you want to restart your life, start by rewriting your system. See you in the next video.